everyone. Welcome to Lex Talk World Talk Show presented by ClickAway Creators. Today we have Dato Preetham Singh Darshan Singh with us, who is formerly the president of Tribunal for Home Buyers Claims and Consumer Claims Tribunal. His practice is highly regarded and recognized by major listed companies and developers, and is also placed on the panel of lawyers of several developers, bankers, financial institutions, and government linked companies. He had a humble beginning, though, but I would just let Preetham talk about it. Also, he's currently the partner in a legal firm, leveraging his vast knowledge and decades of experience. He contributes, he actually contributes to local and international journals. So basically, he writes these articles and on the trending topic in the legal space, and everything out of his experience, he puts it into this local and international journals, besides delivering lectures and talks in relevant forums. The Dato title is a recognition of his contribution towards the nation. So, without any further ado, let me just dive deeper into his journey as a legal professional so far. Hello, Preetham, how are you?
Okay, I'm fine, Bharti.
Lovely, lovely. Glad to know that, Preetham. We're really excited to know about your journey as a legal professional. Though I kind of have an idea, but I would really like our viewers to know about it.
Okay, thank you very much, Bharti. My legal journey started actually way back, even before I became a lawyer. As you know, I started on a very poor background. My father was a policeman, and after his retirement, he became a watchman. So my first job was as a watchman in Chartered Bank in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And then I started studying. So during the day, I will study, and at night, I will be a watchman. So after doing my equivalent A levels, then I got a job as an assistant superintendent of customs in the Royal Malaysian Customs Department, where I worked for 5 years initially. And after my 5 years, I started doing my LLB course externally from the University of London. And it took me another 5 years. And by the time I've already become a superintendent of customs, I have then completed my law degree 10 years from the time I joined customs. That was my first milestone, getting a law degree while working at the same time. Now, having obtained the law degree, then I decided to join the judiciary as a magistrate. I was appointed a magistrate in 1986. And that year only two magistrates were appointed, and I was lucky that I was one of the two. So the moral of the story is, as I have told others, that if there is a 1% chance of me getting a job, I will try that 1%, because as I always tell my friend, I am the 1%. And I got it. And of course, after magistrate, I have become a federal counsel, a senior federal counsel, a deputy public prosecutor, legal advisors to various ministries in Malaysia. So, and then my career in the government service began, where I joined. I have to cut off here because my phone I didn't off. Sorry. Can we take a break?
Sorry, Preetham, you were saying something. I couldn't hear your voice start.
Sorry, there was an incoming call, and
Oh, that's okay. We can edit that. We can edit.
edit that portion of it. I said that is how my career became. I became a legal advisor of various ministries in Malaysia. That itself is also a very high post for a non-Malaysia, for an Indian. And I contributed both as a public prosecutor and as a legal advisor to the ministry, to the government of Malaysia. So my earlier years were spent basically helping the government defend its actions.
Lovely, lovely. The most interesting question is on the way now, Preetham. which is about your most memorable case, because I remember that when we had a conversation, we talked about a lot of your memorable cases, and it was a really random and the most amazing conversation I've had. So I would really like you to throw light on one of the most memorable cases and what were your key takeaways from there.
Okay, fine. I had some lovely period in the government service. As a magistrate, my decisions have changed the Local Government Act, the State Government Act, the federal legislation, and also the federal constitution based on the decision I made. And you must remember that magistrate is one of the lowest rank in the judiciary. And after that, you become higher and higher and higher as you go up. So that was my starting point as a magistrate. I managed to make this contribution to the legal fraternity on this decision that I made, which has been highlighted in the Malaysian media all the while. Okay, talking about further cases, actually there are so many cases which are talking points, but I will just take two cases to illustrate. One is Islamic law case. At that material time, I have actually not done Islamic law. Uh, Subsequently, actually, I have done a diploma in Sharia law and practice. And I have that additional qualification in Sharia law. But at the material time when I did this case, the issue was whether the wearing of the purda, Islamic ladies wear purda, whether the wearing of the purda was an essential and integral part of the practice of Islam and therefore protected under Article 11 of the Federal Constitution as a religious right. So I was supporting the government, whereas my opposite, another Singh, Mr. Karpal Singh, was supporting her. So it's two Singhs who are battling. One say open up, the other say close. So Mr. Karpal said, no, you have a right to close your face. Only eyes can be seen. I say, no, the whole face must be open if the person want to work in government service. And of course, I succeeded in that case. It's a landmark constitutional law case, which is worth remembering. And if we proceed to another landmark case, and again, I would say that it is again with Mr. Karpal. Anybody in Malaysia will know Karpal Singh because he was the leading lawyer against government. So anybody have any grievances against the government, they will always sort out Mr. Karpal, and they know Mr. Karpal will never let them down. So this other case was in relation to election petition, because I was then acting on behalf of the Election Commission of Malaysia. And there was an election petition filed in a town in Sandakan, which is about 2.5 hours flight time from Kuala Lumpur. So we were both on the same flight. I and Mr. Karpal were on the same flight to Sandakan airport, and there was about 300 people waiting at the Sandakan airport to welcome Mr. Karpal Singh, because for the first time in the history of that small town, Mr. Karpal Singh is coming there, not me. The people have all gathered to welcome him. So the next day at 2:30 we started, and I have raised about 7 preliminary points against the election petition. And I started off by quoting a case from the Supreme Court of India. I can't remember the case, but what the case stated was that India has got independence since 1947. And subsequently, there has been a lot of elections after that. There has been a lot of election petitions filed thereafter. But the lawyers in filing the election petitions continue to make mistakes. And they never learn a lesson. So I paused there, looked at Mr. Karpal and the other 7 lawyers who were supporting him. and said, "My lord, perhaps it is to my advantage. These lawyers never continue to make mistakes. And I intend to take advantage of each and every mistake that they have done." So I took out my chopper and started chopping. I
Okay.
spoke for 3 hours with my chopper on,
Okay.
and I finished 5 points of
Mhm.
argument in the 3 hours.
Mhm.
Then I told my lord, I said, "Can we continue next day morning?" He said, "Okay, fine, we'll adjourn for next day morning."
Mhm.
And 1 hour later, Mr. Karpal calls me on the handphone and said, "I think we are withdrawing the election petition."
Oh my God. Okay.
I say, "Thanks. How much? But you have to pay my costs."
Uh-huh.
Said, "How
Right.
much?" He gave me a figure. I said, "Let me speak to the Attorney General and get the figure cleared." I said, "We are gentlemen about things. You want to withdraw, fine, I accept it. There is a cost figure. You are proposing this figure. Let me get the Attorney General's clearance whether we can accept it or not." So I spoke to the Attorney General and he said, "Okay, fine. And what is your view?" I said, "Gentlemen, we accept the figure Mr. Karpal is giving." And so we accepted his figure, and therefore this matter was settled. But the moral of the story is what Karpal Singh told me the next day. He said that, Pritham, and he told me in Punjabi, but I will speak in English. And he said, "If actually I knew you're going to chop me up, I wouldn't be here." I told him, "Karpal," I said, "as a gentleman, this was a strategic move by me. I gave the assurance to the Attorney General and my officers and my bosses in AG's chambers that I will not alert you on your mistakes. Because if I were to alert you, you will put corrective affidavits and correct the thing." So I took a very calculated risk. And I told my bosses I will stand by what decision I have made. So coming to the legal point, doing civil litigation is like playing chess. You have the bishop, you have the knight, you have the queen and the king. But what you're going to move is what will determine the case. Sometimes you have the best case, but you have the wrong move. So putting the right move at the right time is the basis for civil litigation, advocacy. So you may be a civil lawyer, but you do not have civil advocacy, you will lose out.
Just one thing, Pretam. I was obviously, I'm hearing it for the second time because you've already shared with me. Mine was in more detail. Uh, so just want to know what did Mr. Karpal said in Punjabi, because we have Indian viewers as well. So I'm sure they would understand. So what did he say?
इसे मैं नहीं होना सी जे तू ऐसा करना सी मेरे नाल मैं एवं ही नहीं दूर आया
Oh my God. Oh
You must
God.
remember, Mr. Karpal is actually on a wheelchair bound.
Oh, oh, okay.
He is a wheelchair bound at that material time. Yeah, he was wheelchair bound, a lawyer, because he had an accident a few years earlier and his both legs are not working. So to come all the way to Sandakan, of course, his son was with him. His son is now the member of parliament. Both sons are member of parliament. One is a state minister. 3 children are in the taken over his legacy. And off the record, just a few days ago, somebody posted on the social media Mr. Karpal's photo in a Chinese house where they have put the puja things and they put his photos there. Please save Malaysia.
Oh my God.
Although he has passed away so many years ago already now,
Uh-huh.
people believe that he was one man who could actually save if they are in trouble. And I know him personally. Of course, we always have been on the opposite side, but he was always a gentleman because he will never hit us below the belt. He may sue the government, but he never hit us below the belt.
Wow.
We'll fight on the legal points all the way to
Mhm.
better, but he will never hit us below the belt. Those
Sounds
are
quite like
qualities.
sounds like a really, really intelligent man.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Pritam, for sharing your memorable cases. It's always lovely, listening to them. Now, just one last question. Now, just your views on civil litigation for this year, and how do you think it's going to change 5 years down the line?
Okay, now because of the pandemic, I think most civil cases have gone online in Malaysia, especially those non-contentious issues. Even application for leave, even at application for leave. Recently, I did one case at the federal court. It was online altogether, totally online, and leave was granted online too. I think that is the way forward. Otherwise, we'll all be rushing to federal court for small things. The future is online hearings. And I think, of course, there are advantages and disadvantages of online hearing because there is no emotional link with the judges, because the judges would like to look at your face. Because I've been on the bench, I look at your face and I can look at you and see how much you have prepared, Your client sitting at the back may not know, but I can see from up there in your file that there is nothing much you have prepared. So that advantage and disadvantage, the way forward is an online hearing.
All right, good. Now we are absolutely moving towards it, and I guess we're already there in this new era of technology, and thanks to pandemic. So it has already happened. Like nobody knew that this could, but it did. So thank you so much, first of all, Pritham, for such an amazing interview. You shared some great insights with us. I'm sure it is going to help our viewers as well. I'm really looking forward to have a conversation on some other training topics in the international legal industry. At the same time, for our viewers, if you like this video with Pritham, please like and share, and also subscribe to ClickAway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming from industry legal leaders like Pritham. Till then, take care, stay safe, bye-bye.